Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
recording.
Hello. So our group's name is Tech 21. We decided to work on a BlackJack card game. My name is Nohela, and my two group members are Ricky Tran and Marcus Pham.
Hello, guys. Awesome. Nice to meet you guys.
So our roles were my role was the designer slash tester. Ricky's role was the designer slash programmer, and Marcus's role was the coder slash programmer.
Well, these roles are very vague because we all programmed, we all took part in the
Mhm.
code, so these roles are just there as a filler.
So we decided to work on the Blackjack game. So some of the languages we used included HTML and CSS. So it pretty much just followed the standard Blackjack universal rule. Some features we added were there was a one dealer and then there was one player. And then there's details of each card. The animations of the dealers is to distribute the cards from the deck to the player, and then a key action were buttons such as hit, stand, double down, and split. So to like enhance our engagement, there were also visual appearances, which pretty much is like the coins, I guess. So we implemented transitions. So like there's like smooth transitions such as like fade in transformations or card movements, rotations for like card flipping, and other animations like the play key roll and the card shuffled, dealt, and chips being stacked.
Here is our overview on our solution. We basically just developed a blackjack game that has animations, transforms, and transitions using HTML and just CSS. Some of the key features that we implemented were card shuffling, card dealing, card flipping, and buttons for chips and the actions such as hit, stand, double down, and split. And there are animations for the chip where when you click on them, they fly up. For our user interface, what we did was there was an introduction screen that displays all of us, all of the members of our group, and what we did as our responsibilities on the program. There's a home screen which displays the rules of the game, just the typical universal rules for blackjack, reach 21, that stuff. And then there's the game page, which is where the user can interact with the actual game and test out like or see the animations and click buttons.
Awesome. So we did a here is our UML class diagram, a simple diagram that kind of depicts and designs of how. So this is kind of like a simple overview of it.
So for our first mechanic, which was card shuffling, this is for the HTML. What we did was we created a container that sets the card stack and defines the position and layout of the whole stack. So in our stack, we had more classes, which basically is just another wrapper grouping all the cards together. Stack are the cards in the stack, which would include our top card, our middle card, and our bottom card, and they all share the same class, which is card, and which defines the common style, such as the size, shape, and appearance of each card. What this does is basically this is how you would shuffle the card. So basically, the behavior is right there. The bottom card would be the lowest of the stack. The middle card would be layered on top of the bottom, and then the topmost card would be uh, the most visible. And then when in the HTML file, you would see them all like changing when they are shuffling, when the cards are shuffling. Here is the CSS for the card shuffling mechanic. Um, all cards were using the background image of card back, which is just the back image of the card. What we did was we used Z index for the layering. Top card had index of 3, which makes it the top card, and then the middle card had Z index of 2, which puts it in the middle, and then the bottom card would be Z index 1, which places it at the bottom, and then there was the shuffling animation. The top card had the animation shuffle 4 times forward, which moves the card, so it creates a shuffling effect over 4 seconds. Here is the keyframes for the shuffle, which basically transform at 0% would be the original position, and then it would bring forth the card to the front for however long, the 4 seconds. So this is just the overall shuffle animation. Then we have our card dealing CSS. Player 1 cards would center the cards at the bottom of the screen with absolute positioning and transform for horizontal alignment. And then dot card, the cards were positioned absolutely inside the container, which sets their size, including the width and the height, and adds more round corners and adding transitions for movement and opacity. And then there was the card face down, which ensures that the face down cards are layered on top of each other with the higher Z index. And then there was card 1, 2, 3, and 4, which basically just sets the background image as the designated card. So there was a 7 card, an ace card, a king card, and the back of the card, the face down card. And then there was an animation within each card, which basically deals out the card. So it'd be like a fade in or fade out, and then fade forwards. And then there was a delay. There was an animation delay by 4 seconds, so that after the cards were finished shuffling, the cards would be dealt after the shuffling. So after the 4 seconds of shuffling, the cards would be brought out. Here's more of the card dealing CSS. This is just the keyframes for each card, so that they would come out at the designated location, and having the containers where the cards would be.
So for the styles.css, this is pretty much for the game page. And it pretty much just sets flexible containers for the players with equal width items so that they are spaced evenly. It also includes padding, and it sets a background for as an image, like an image for a background. It adds this hover effect to the chips and buttons so that when you hover over the buttons or the chips, they are slightly enlarged. And there's like other styling done, like where there's like different like colors, like the background colors or what color the buttons are set up to, the type of border. It's just the basic styling of the game page. So this is the card flip HTML. So is this part is including the deck area, which pretty much contains like a top card, a middle card, and a bottom card, and they are pretty much stacked up on top of each other, with each card having a dot card dash inner, which holds both the front card and the back card. And this structure is pretty much simulating that a deck of cards in the game with their faces hidden until they are dealt. by the dealer. And then the bet area is pretty much empty, but but is designed for future integration where players can place their bets. The player section includes hand um includes player 1, which displays the player 1 cards and classes card 1 and card 2 from their facing the front and corresponding, and for each card there's like a corresponding image that is pretty much flipped over to the back card. So for the CSS portion, each card has a front and back, and when you hover over the card, the the card inner is pretty much rotating to a 180 degree on the y-axis, which is pretty much just flipping the card over from like the front to the back of the card, which is another image um called the card back. And then it uses preserved as 3D so that the front of the card and the back stay in the 3D space, and the card front and card back are pretty much stacked up on top of each other, and the back face visibility is pretty much the part where it keeps it like hidden to make sure only one side is shown at a time instead of both sides showing at the same time. Each card is connected to a separate image URL for the front portion of the card, but the back is all linked to the same back card image.
Awesome. So, for the chip's actual design and animation part of it, this is actually the class of just overall the chip and how it should be designed looked for. So, moving on to kind of the buttons, animations, everything like that, and kind of giving you guys a rundown. The buttons is just kind of the simple layout of design of the buttons, how each button um, is practically the same. You know, double down, punching in and everything like that. This is how the buttons layout should be in general overall. And then at the end, conclusion, the button animations is how each button kind of works. And basically, we try to do is a keyframe of bounce. And basically, what it does is whenever you're hovering over and stuff like that, it's just obviously bouncing, kind of like giving you guys a clue that you guys are going to choose this button. And then obviously, specifically the buttons animations again, each button's location of the buttons. Um, this is how they are set up from below from the coins. So, we have hit hands left at 49%, top at 45%, stand hand at left 49%, top at 42, all the way down to the doubles. And yeah, that is how are we good?
Here is our live demonstration for our project. Here is our introduction screen, which has the project description, the team members and responsibilities, our team leader, just the basics. And then here we go to the game rules. So these are the basic game rules. Get 21. The card values are right here. Initial gameplay, what you need to do, what each button means and how to use them, and what happens when a player hits 21. And then on to the next page which would be our game page. Here's our game page with demonstration of the shuffling right here, and then this would be our demonstration for the card dealing. After the shuffling animation is done, the cards would pop out, and here we could flip the cards. This would review the cards for the dealer, which would be 21, and this guy would either have 8 or 18. But this is the card dealing, and here are our buttons. When you click on it, you can see that there's animation that selects each chip. And then for our buttons, you can click on them, and yeah, um, that is pretty much it for our presentation. Thank you for your time. Thank you.